You have been trying to live the Christian life, and it is exhausting you, not because you don't believe, not because you don't care, but because somewhere along the way faith stopped feeling like a relationship and started feeling like a performance. More prayer, more discipline, more trying to be the version of yourself you think God requires before He can really use you. And still, the peace doesn't stay. The joy comes and goes. The fruit you're straining to produce keeps withering before it fully grows. Jesus saw this coming, which is why the night before everything fell apart, He sat with His disciples and said something that should have ended the striving forever. Abide in me. John 15 is not a motivational passage. It is a description of how spiritual life actually works. Jesus says, I am the vine, you are the branches. And then He says something that changes everything if you actually stop and let it land. A branch does not produce fruit by trying harder. It produces fruit by staying connected. The moment it's separated from the vine, it doesn't struggle and decline. It begins dying immediately. Because it was never the source of its own life to begin with, that is not a picture of spiritual discipline. That is a picture of total dependence. And most Christians have spent their entire lives trying to be a branch that generates its own life, and wondering why they're always exhausted. Here is where the honest disruption lives. Abiding is not your morning quiet time. It is not the emotional high you feel during worship. It is not how many chapters you read or how long you stayed on your knees. All of those things can be expressions of abiding. None of them are abiding itself. You can read scripture every morning and still be spiritually disconnected. You can serve in church every week and still be running on your own strength. You can know John 15 by heart and still be living like a branch that cut itself from the vine and is desperately trying to produce fruit through sheer willpower. Jesus doesn't say, perform for me. He says, stay with me. Those are not the same invitation. Abiding has 3 dimensions and all 3 matter. The first is remaining in His Word, not reading Scripture as information to acquire, but receiving it as a living voice, speaking directly into your current moment. John 15:7, if my words abide in you, the word abide applies to Scripture too. His Word is meant to live inside you, not sit on a shelf you visit occasionally. There is a difference between a man who studies a letter and a man who receives one. One is gathering knowledge. The other is hearing from someone who loves Him. When you open Scripture expecting God to speak into your specific situation, that is abiding in His Word, not information intake, living conversation. The second is remaining in His presence, not a scheduled appointment at 6 a.m., an ongoing awareness of Him throughout the ordinary moments of the day, the commute, the meeting, the meal, the silence before sleep. Brother Lawrence called it practicing the presence of God. He was a monk who found God not in cathedral prayers, but in washing dishes. It is not a spiritual achievement reserved for mystics. It is what Jesus is describing when He says, abide. Moment by moment, not just morning by morning. The goal is not longer quiet times. The goal is a continuous awareness that carries God's presence from the prayer closet into every ordinary moment of your actual life. The third is remaining in His love. John 15:9, abide in my love. This is the dimension most believers skip entirely because it requires nothing of them, and they don't trust that. We are so conditioned to earn what we receive that love requiring only our willingness to stay inside, it feels almost suspicious. But Jesus is saying the foundation of abiding is not your discipline. It is not your consistency. It is your willingness to stay inside love that was given before you earned it, and cannot be lost when you fail. You cannot abide in what you do not believe you are welcome in. John 15:5. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Most people read that as a warning. It is actually the most liberating sentence in the chapter. If fruit comes from connection and not from effort, then the entire weight of Christian performance can be set down right now. You do not produce fruit. You receive the conditions in which fruit grows naturally. You don't force peace into existence. You don't manufacture joy. You don't strain love into being. You stay connected. And what grows, grows. The Christian life was never meant to be this heavy. Jesus said his yoke is easy and his burden is light. If what you are carrying right now feels crushing, it is worth asking, are you striving for God or are you abiding in him? Because those are two completely different lives. You don't need to try harder. You need to stay closer. Go to the comments and write, I choose to abide. Not as a declaration that you have it figured out. As a decision that starting today, you are done performing and ready to simply remain. He is the vine. You are the branch. Stay connected. Everything else follows from that.